Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is the Westbrook one take. So this is Russell Westbrook's budget model and it's coming in at $100, which is I guess cheap, you know, anything below like 110, 120 bucks I consider like budget, or I guess relatively cheap. And then once you go above like 120 and get to like 130 bucks, that's more like mid-tier pricing. And then around like 160, maybe 170 bucks is when you get to like super expensive. So 100 bucks, and this looks exactly the same as the Why Not 0.3, doesn't it? Like, it looks identical. Or maybe just like a brother, not even like a downgrade. It doesn't even look like a downgrade, right? So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. I'm not 100% sure when it's supposed to release. It's not available yet on Nike.com, but if it is available, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the traction. It's the exact same pattern as the Why Not 0.3. It's using like lightning bolts for some reason, even though Russell Westbrook's not with the Thunder anymore. So that pattern is pretty much the same. It also said it was inspired by the Jordan 29, and Jordan 29 was apparently Russell Westbrook's favorite shoe, or one of his favorite shoes to ball in. And if you look at it, it looks pretty similar, you know, especially with this curved line that goes throughout the entire shoe. So that's pretty cool, you know. It has a little bit of inspiration from the 29. So I tried the shoe on my wood floors, you know, just to check the outsole and see how hard it bites. And it bites really hard. It has a nice loud squeak as well. I mean, obviously squeak doesn't really determine if the performance is good, but I just like to have a nice little squeak, you know? So, I mean, right now, the bite seems really good. The rubber's not super close together, so I don't think it's going to pick up that much dust. But we'll have to see on that. Obviously, we're not 100% sure yet. And then as far as the durability goes, the rubber is very soft, which is kind of surprising because, you know, most brands, Nike, Jordan, you know, Adidas, if it's more like a budget model, they make the rubber super hard. But that's not the case for the Westbrook one take. And then as far as the heel to toe transition goes, it seems pretty smooth. You know, you have a nice curved shape here in the heel. The forefoot is pretty flat though. I mean, it's not as flat as like a Dawn Issue 1, but it's relatively flat, which kind of surprised me. But it's very flexible. You see that? So it's very flexible in the forefoot as well as in the midfoot. So it is decoupled, and the biggest advantage of decoupling the midsole and the outsole is to reduce weight of the shoe. But usually they put like a carbon fiber or a plastic midfoot shank plate, you know, for torsional support, but this doesn't have any. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, it does bend back. I wonder if there's an actual plastic piece like inside the midsole, but I kind of doubt it. And the torsional support, look at that. I don't know, it doesn't look very good. But to be honest, this midsole isn't like crazy decoupled like this. I would say the gap is around 2 to 3 centimeters, so I'm not super worried about it like collapsing on itself and having like torsional support problems. But also the midsole seems pretty thick here, you know, in the midfoot, so it doesn't seem like it's super unsupported, but we'll have to see on that. So as far as the foam goes, I'm guessing it's just a full-length Phylon, and nothing special. There is a little bit of compression in the heel, but it's mostly just on the edges. And then there is a forefoot zoom unit. It's not as big as a Jordan 34 or the Why Not 0.3. I believe those are just like the entire forefoot, you know, the huge forefoot zoom units. This one I believe is just like a, you know, the regular, I guess, like half circle one. It's not the really thin rectangle one, but I'm guessing it's more just like the half circle one. And it feels very nice. I can feel the zoom unit in the forefoot, and it reminds me a lot of the PG3. And the cushioning system seems nice so far. I just wish they would use a little bit softer of a cushion. But as you guys know, Russell Westbrook is just a straight line dude, you know. He doesn't really do as many like lateral movements. He has more just a linear playstyle, you know, just go in a straight line, straight to the rack, right? So because of that, he likes to have a forefoot cushioning setup in most of his shoes. Like all of his shoes have had forefoot cushions besides the one. So for the materials on the one take, they're using a textile material. I mean, it's soft and pretty pliable and it conforms to your foot pretty well, but it's very thick. You know, it's almost as thick as like the LeBrons, I would say. And that helps make the shoe very cozy and I guess overall more comfortable. But personally for me, I like to have like a thinner material and I like to have more of a minimal upper. But I guess this isn't bad. Like the overall quality seems very good and it doesn't seem like it's going to be one of those very stiff, cumbersome uppers. So I guess I'm not like super mad at it. I just wish it was a little bit thinner. And of course you have some fuse here in the toe area, in the toe cap for extra added durability if you do toe drags. The fuse material just goes throughout the entire upper. So you have some here in the midfoot and also in the ankle collar area. It's more just like a synthetic suede. You have an external TPU heel counter and you have a very shiny fuse material that kind of looks like patent leather, which is kind of cool. And then the tongue is an independent tongue, so it's not attached to an inner booty which goes underneath this textile material, which kind of sucks. We'll have to see if this tongue like moves around when I play, which I think it will. There's not a lot of padding on this tongue, but then it's like thick because it's like this knit material. On top of the tongue, it's a very nice knit mesh, and then once you go to the bottom of the tongue, it's basically a yarn material. So pretty damn thick for materials, but not a lot of padding in it. But it feels nice overall on foot. And then here in the ankle area, they're doing the same exact thing that they did in the 0.2 and the 0.3, and I don't really like it too much. They're using two materials, and it's like an inner booty, and it just adds to the overall bulk of the shoe. But I guess it's not a huge deal because there's not like crazy padding. Besides this Achilles pillow, which feels incredible by the way. It's a very, very large Achilles pillow, which kind of like wraps around into the heel and back again to the side of the shoe. Your foot and your heel feel contained, because like if you think about it, I guess like the Kyrie 6 is probably around the same thickness, but it just does one material but a lot of padding. So I guess this isn't a huge deal. I feel like if they just did it with like just one layer of material and then with the Achilles pillow, it would have been better. But for like $100 shoe, this is a really, really nice overall textile material, and I really like it. Moving on to the fit. So I went true to size, and it runs slightly long. There's just a little bit of space lengthwise, and as far as the toe space goes, it's a little roomy. It's not to the point where it's like super uncomfortable, because I like to have a very tight fit in my shoes, but then it's a little roomy, and I feel like this textile material is going to stretch out as well. So that kind of sucks. But if you have a wide foot or you prefer a roomier fit in your shoes, true to size should be okay. But if you want like a lot more room, then I would suggest going up half a size. If you want a really snug fit, maybe go down half a size, but just watch out for the length though. It's not to the point where it's just like really long. It's just slightly long for me. And as far as the width goes, I would say it's like normal. As far as the support and lockdown goes, ankle support seems non-existent because there's really nothing on your ankle, but then it's a pretty wide base. You're low to the ground. I feel laterally stable. It doesn't feel like I have this motion going on. And as far as the lateral support goes, I mean, you have the foam coming up here in the forefoot, and it kind of looks like points or spikes. I feel like lateral containment is going to be very good. And moving on to the weight, I mean, it seems pretty light. You know, I'm guessing like 11 ounces. Ooh, 12.35, so like around average. Like when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be a little bit heavier, but then, you know, 12.3 isn't bad. It's just that it doesn't feel as minimal as I would like or I would prefer, but it feels like a solid and supportive shoe, and the traction seems really good. So I feel like, you know, if this shoe performs well, you can feel responsive and you can feel fast on your feet while playing in this. Alright, as far as the aesthetics go, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a weird looking shoe, or just like it's out there. It's not a shoe that you see very often as far as the design goes. And getting it in hand, especially this colorway, I really like this colorway for some reason. And like seeing it on foot, it doesn't look as bad as I first thought. You know, when I first saw it, I was like, I don't really know about it. But then like seeing it in person, I feel like it looks a little bit better. Tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. But as of right now, you know, just from a first impression standpoint, this shoe is looking solid. You know, like I said, traction seems really good. Cushion, you know, I can feel the forefoot zoom. The foam it's okay. I would say the impact protection is going to be okay, I think. And then the material quality is great. It feels nice on foot. A little thick for my liking, but you know, it's still pretty damn nice. So yeah, I mean, for $100, Jordan Brand's been making some really, really good budget models lately for the past few years. So shout out to Jordan Brand for that. Again, if you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.